Bellator card coming up, and I was looking for some value here. This show's all about how to help you guys make money off the fights. And I'm scratching my head looking for a good bet on this card, and it's really hard to find one. I mean, if you don't mind him at minus 170, Joe Warren is probably going to beat Steve Garcia. Phil, you had an interesting thought about that.
I like Kendall Grove, but on that fight, I can't see them giving Joe Warren, who's a company guy, a young guy, to beat him right now. There's no reason why you put Joe Warren in there over his
So
head.
you're thinking Bellator is search long and hard.
Thank you, Joe Warren.
Yeah. For the title fights and all that.
Good fights and for
And
being
it's
with
not
us.
a given that if Joe wins this fight, he's not right back
He's
in
right
the title
back in it.
picture.
It's a perfect fight for Joe. So why would you give Steve? Who cares about Steve? Nobody knows Steve.
Steve Garcia. So you're thinking at minus 170, that's not that bad of a deal.
And I also like Kendall Grove a lot. Those are my picks on this one.
So you like Kendall Grove. He's fighting a guy, John Salter, who's a Josh Koscheck guy.
Yeah, nobody's won from that camp yet.
You know Salter.
Nobody's won from that camp yet. So
you must know Salter from AKA.
Is a jinx to Fresno. No, I was supposed to fight the guy a couple times. I can't see him winning this fight. He's a similar body type as Kendall Grove. He's a wrestler. I think Kendall gets him. I give Kendall the advantage in submissions and standing. Salter can win a boring decision, but I think Kendall's going to pull it out. Kendall's been hot right now. Kendall's winning some fights.
And Salter has a mean triangle choke, but when does Kendall Grove take anyone down?
When does Kendall Grove get submitted?
I don't remember ever seeing him on
3
top.
times. He's been knocked out 8 times and finished 11, so 3 have to be submissions, but I don't necessarily remember the submissions.
It could be decisions.
No, 3. He's been finished 11 times.
Finished 11.
And 8 of them were knockouts, so the other 3.
Right now, what's Kendall?
I like Kendall now.
A plus 190.
Yeah.
Yeah, Salter's a big favorite here.
No way.
Look,
why
Salter,
do you think he's so
never
heavily
wins.
favored?
Yeah.
Well, for just the opposite reason of what Phil said. Phil says he never wins, but the reason he's a favorite here is Bellator brought him in to fight Halsey. He was supposed to lose to Halsey. He was a big underdog. He beat Halsey.
How did he beat
triangle choke?
Took that win, but he did take that win and get 2 more fights in Bellator from it and won them both. So now you have a guy who's suddenly 3-0 in Bellator with a win over their former middleweight champion.
Perfect for Kendall Grove to get back in the mix.
See,
Could be.
The winner of this fight is back in the mix.
Sure. 185 is a very shallow division.
Yeah.
I thought the winner of this fight is the perfect first fight in Bellator for their brand new signee, Gegard Mousasi.
I agree. That's a good call.
Yeah.
But now, what's the better name value? Of course,
Kendall.
Kendall Grove.
Yeah, Kendall.
I mean,
Okay.
I just can't see them setting up this fight for John Salter. His big career, jump up. What's the big fight? John Salter versus
Gegard.
It's not a fight.
Yeah.
Kendall Grove is a fight.
The only thing going
good
for
point.
Salter is his record, undefeated in the. Whereas Kendall,
3-0. Who'd he beat?
What's Kendall 3-4 in Bellator now?
Yeah, but he's won some fights. People know him, and people are invested in him.
3-3 in his last
He's
6.
been on
Yeah.
Ultimate Fighter. People are invested in
He
him.
certainly has more name value. There's no question there.
Oh, so if you're looking for an underdog to go for, Baroni really likes Kendall Grove in this fight. He's a 2-1 dog. Me personally, part of being a good bettor is kind of knowing when not to bet. And on this card, it's one of those cards where there's
You're not going to take my advice? Thanks, pal. You're not going to take my
Nothing I
I'm pushing
really,
those
really
bets
like.
hard. I'm pushing those too hard, man. Thanks.
Are you
I haven't
taking
been, I haven't
your
been
advice?
wrong on any. Yeah.
I do like Emily Ducati on this card. When you look at the fight with Jessica Middleton and Emily Ducati, Jessica Middleton's almost 30 years old and only has 3 professional fights, so she obviously started late. Both of these girls lost to Lima Lay McFarlane. And Jessica Middleton got finished by McFarlane, whereas Ducati went the distance with her and has won every other fight in her career. So Ducati's only 23 years old. She started when she was 20. Now she has 3 full years, 6 full fights under her belt, double the amount as Middleton. She's only 23 years old. Fought McFarlane to a really tough decision loss. Came back and scored a big win after that. I think you got to lay a little price with Ducati, but look, she trains at American Top Team, and she's only 23. She has a lot more experience. She took McFarlane the distance. It feels like a fight she should win.
And what could you get Ducati at?
I think it's 165, so And I think it's probably going to go up to around somewhere $190, $2. So you probably want to get it.
Better
now.
off taking that one now. And finally, Derek Campos versus Brandon Gertz. This is the rubber match. The first time Campos handled him pretty easily, but the second time Gertz caught him with a one-punch knockout, and now they're doing the rubber match because they each have one apiece. And I believe Campos is about a minus 160, something like that.
This is really strange. So they just fought in 2015, so it wasn't
Yeah,
forever
just
ago, and
last year.
Gertz knocks him out. But then since then, Gertz is 0-2, and Campos is 3-0 since losing. So
And now Campos is favorite.
That's right. So
Sounds like a lucky punch. And
That-
he's trying to prove that by the rematch. 'Cause
I
why
would
would
say
you go
so.
back and fight somebody
a third time.
that you know
That's
they have-
been losing when
Yeah,
you've been
when you've
hot.
been winning, yeah.
Because they
He
want to
believes
get
it's a lucky
Campos to
punch.
win,
Yeah.
and they could sell it as a rubber match.
Yeah,
Sure. Yeah.
that's how I always try and look at my bets. Why is the match
Being
taking
made
place?
by the organization.
The only thing that makes me a little hesitant.
Because it's not just like boxing, like you said. The organization is invested in their fighters. Yeah.
They have
No,
motives.
Campos is the best bet for them. He's been in a lot of big fights, including fighting Michael Chandler. I mean, they want him to continue on, but I just don't like laying money with a guy who has a chin. I mean, Chandler one-punched him. Gertz one-punched him.
Who has this kid knocked out that he's fighting? You know what I mean? How many
Campos? They both have like the same resumes. They both beat a fading Melvin Guillard, and they both lost to Michael
albeit
Chandler.
closely.
I think Campos also beat Derek Anderson. I think Gertz might have lost to Derek Anderson. But when you look at their actual who they fought resumes, they're
level,
close.
same level.
Except Campos got one big shot at Chandler one time, and Chandler knocked him out.
They rewarded them.
Yeah, and Chandler KO'd him for his reward. So. So I think they're on the same level. I just think Campos has a little more tools, but because his chin's suspect, I don't want to lay it. But nothing about Gertz makes me want to take it, so I'm going to pass.
Wah, wah, wah.
I think I am too. I'm just not crazy about any of these bets. I mean, you have four choices here, and your best bets, if you don't mind laying the price to get a victory, is probably Campos, probably Ducati, and Philly really likes Kendall Grove and
Walter.
Joe Warren.
You know, one of the things to consider, and I try not to ever give credence to who the organization wants to win. I try not to ever think of that. But, I mean, Phil brings it up as a good
Yeah,
point.
no, well, why not?
The one to show you how Bellator feels about Brandon Gertz, that right after he got that big knockout win over Campos last time, rather than matching him in a fight that made sense for him, they gave him their primetime prospect, Adam Piccoletti, and Piccoletti wrecked him. So
Well, there you go. That just goes to prove it. That's my point exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, they
It's
weren't,
like, this guy was supposed to lose. We'll make sure he loses.
Yeah,
now.
you're a
I mean,
good
they
guy.
weren't
He's
gonna
not
put
that good.
somebody
He's
in
not
front
that
of
scary.
Piccoletti.
He's not that good. He's not that scary. And he went on TV. Oh, perfect. Even better now.
Yes, the motives of the organization, something not thought a lot amongst bettors, and that's
That's all I think about.
that's
yeah,
an
bullshit.
interesting
That's
thing
all I think
you
about.
you bring up, because I think it certainly couldn't hurt to give it a little bit of attention.
sure. And look, they didn't want Adam Piccoletti to lose. He
know,
was their
it's
number
you
one
gotta remember,
prospect.
Yeah, they're trying
So
to
the
help
fact
him.
that Gertz is who they put in front of him as his first TV fight probably meant they felt comfortable that Piccoletti could beat Gertz, and he sure did.
It's not the WBC. It's Bellator. Who are they grooming? You know what I mean? It's like UFC. You know who they're grooming? Guys from Ultimate Fighter. Guys that are marketable. Guys
Yeah.
they could do stuff with.
Yeah, same
They
thing with
set up
Bellator.
fights.
So, my advice on this card is listen to Baroni. Because honestly, his last Bellator card, he picked a dog that came through, a 3-1 dog
I think Bellator's the easiest one to see through.
to pick. Yeah.
That was a pretty good dog, actually, that last Bellator card.
Yeah, he came through for me. Anyone else with 2 cents on Bellator?
No, that's
Going
it
once,
for me.
going twice. Bye. Moving on to UFC Fight Night. What number is this?
113.
113. Wow.